And we are back with more ASM 2021 goodness, raising money for great mental health who Beyond Blue. Now, we have the race for the ages. I hope you strapped on your seatbelts from before, because we've got Heckson versus meatr0o in the battle of the ages. I'm going to throw straight over to these races to introduce themselves and the run.
Everybody, welcome to Diablo Any Percent. My name is Heckson.
I'm meatr0o.
And commentator is Whisperer.
Yes, hello.
So just 1 second. Just realized I'm going to push the talk. Yeah, that should be better. Okay, so before we get started, just a quick introduction to the run. We're doing any percent new game co-op. We can use any character for this run, but we're going to use monks. Monks are the fastest, so meatr0o and I are going to be racing each other. All the characters have to be freshly created, so we can't use any Paragon to level us up, no vendors, and we can't access our stash. So the whole point of this is starting a fresh character and getting to kill Malthael at Act 5 as fast as we possibly can. So hopefully we set a good time. We'll see what happens. Okay, anything from you, meatr0o?
No, I'm just making my character now. So the time will start as soon as we make our first input in-game, so we'll give you a countdown.
Cool. All right, I'll leave this to Whisperer to give you the info on how the run goes. So I'm about to start my character now.
So I'm ready when you are, Heckson. Let me know when I should start the countdown.
Okay, yep, I'm ready.
All right, we are going in 3, 2, 1, and go.
So we are off. This is one of the more interesting runs of Diablo, especially for the solo category. The Monk run is the fastest run. meatr0o here is currently world record holder. Heckson's not that far behind, currently battling for 4th in the leaderboard, but pretty pushing it. First thing you'll see them doing here, fighting a bunch of zombies. There's a key moment here. We want to get a level up, and essentially that level up, kill a stack of them. So let's see if they get it. Yeah, both of them did reasonably well there. Getting through the gate at some good times. So a couple of things to kind of explain. You'll see them doing a bunch of tricks over the run. First goal they really want to get to is level 9. Level 9 gives them an ability called Dash, which is why the Monk's the fastest. Dash is just essentially like a short-range teleport, gets them over a bunch of gaps, gets them moving pretty fast. Other abilities that they're going to use is essentially breaking a stack of items in a row. So you need to break 7 items, and you'll get a speed boost for about 30 seconds. The more items you break, the longer that speed boost goes. So coming up here, and it will vary up here, but coming up here, there's a back patch of pumpkins. What they want to do is break 7 of those pumpkins and a couple walls, and hopefully they'll get a boost, which will push them up to the next checkpoint. However, there can be a couple of Quillbit fiends, which will stop that. So we'll see if they've got it.
Oh no. Oh no.
Yeah, so Heckson's got a bunch of mobs. There's a chance that these mobs will actually break the breakables for him or slow him down so he can't punch in time.
I didn't get it.
Not done well. So yeah, so you see on meatr0o's screen, got 11 items broken. Oh, and he picked up some boots as well. Whereas Heckson hasn't picked up any yet.
It's all right.
So key items they're looking for on this little bit is A pair of boots with movement speed on them, and B, a weapon. The starting weapon you pick up is not the best, and any little increments from these early blue items is massive. So Heckson's picked up a weapon, which will really help over the next couple of fights, and meatr0o's just picked up a club there, which is good. Quick trick here. There's some interesting NPC dialogue which gets essentially them to teleport to where they want to stand, like where their next dialogue line is. meatr0o got it there. Let's see if Heckson gets it.
Yeah, so every time NPCs lag behind you, they'll teleport up to catch up to you. So we'll manipulate that over the run to speed them up.
Try and distract them so that they have to get to where they got to go.
suspected what was lurking within his
Second pair of
own
boots for
heart.
meatr0o.
I can
Give me a break.
4% as well.
wherever he's headed, hell will surely follow in
So next run up here is a static run. Everyone's got the same map so far. The first map we're about to enter here is the first randomized of the map. So how Diablo 3's randomized maps work is essentially it's like a tile-based systems. There's a chance on a grid that different tiles will spawn, and essentially one will lead to the exit, and that's all generated when you land in the level. So what meatr0o is looking for here is the exit to the level, and can be in a bunch of places. This is probably one of the levels that isn't solved. There's a bunch of random levels which aren't actually that random.
One thing to note is I'm trying to stay at level 4 right now so I can level up and kill a bunch of enemies in a row. So I'm going to try and not kill any enemies until I see a big group. That's probably not big
You'll
enough.
see us stop to kill new types of enemies when we see it too, because on that quest to get level 9, every time we kill a unique enemy for the first time, we get an XP bonus for doing so. So we'll go out of our way to kill new types, or if there's a particularly big group, we don't have to go out of our way for.
I haven't seen a lot of enemies, which is unfortunate.
So meatr0o's got one of the longest end tiles, so it required him to walk around a stack to get there, really adding on a stack of time. However, it's still well ahead of Heckson. Yeah. That's
Do a
another
little-
glitch.
Yeah, we can talk about cutscene skip.
Yeah, that's a little cutscene skip. It's essentially as you just enter a cutscene, as it's about to start, you can input walking commands, and it will walk through that cutscene if you click it at the right point in time. There's a couple of frame perfect ones, which hopefully they'll get along the run, and then we'll see how that goes. But that was a really good one. Essentially, there, what you wanted to be able to do is walk down the stairs during that cutscene, and when Heckson gets it in a little bit, we'll see if he can do that trick as well.
We do it because there's a couple of skeletons that spawn that take a while to zone in, and they hold up the event, so we want them to spawn as fast as possible so we can proceed with the event. That happens in a
I've
few
had
other
pretty
places
bad luck.
as well.
Probably get this.
So next trick here for meatr0o is he's got to kill all the zombies in this tomb and finish off the blacksmith's wife at the end of this. And then what he's actually going to do is leave the game. This is a relatively unique point in the run. We don't use this trick at any other point, but this particular point allows you to leave the game, change the difficulty up to the hardest difficulty possible, rejoin, and finish the quest on that harder difficulty, granting a stack more experience for him. This should effectively catapult as close as he can to level 9. The best position he can be in is being level 9 once he finishes that quest.
Don't think I'll be quite level 9, but I'll be doing alright.
All right. Too quick.
So you'll notice we've got to do all our inventory management and skills on the fly, because stopping is obviously the slowest thing we can do, so we avoid it wherever possible. But yeah, it can be quite challenging sometimes to manage all the drops you get and look for the highest damage and highest speed while not stopping moving.
So there's a relatively good trick coming up here, which again isn't used at any other point in the run. What meatr0o is coming up on is 3 different crypts. One of these crypts is the right crypt, and the clue we use to find that is actually a sound. So what you'll see is he'll turn his sound up, and you might notice it on stream, and he'll listen to see if he gets the right one.
Yeah, I need a bit of quiet time now, please.
Whoa, won't do it.
I got third crypt.
Give me that comeback mechanic.
Yep, I'm all good, thanks.
Yeah, so you saw he had to stop, pause, and listen in each. Fortunately, there's a little bit of a bonus if you find a crypt. Sometimes there's a shrine or an XP potion inside, so it's not always the end of the world if you find the wrong one. There'll be one split here before he finds the end tile. There's a chance you turn the wrong way, but hopefully he gets the right way.
One advantage I have is I got level 9 really early.
That's great. So Heckson's got the first ability that we're looking for, so he's got dash. So you'll see meatr0o doesn't even yet have dash, despite the fact he's slightly further ahead. That's just because Heckson's managed to kill a stack more mobs, picked up an XP potion, I think, so he's well on his way. Just going to give Heckson his quiet time for this bit as well.
I got it, yeah, second crit.
Awesome. So next breakpoint we're looking for is actually level 10. Level 10, the first passive is unlocked for the monks, which is essentially they're going to pick a movement speed boost one, which just provides a passive movement speed for them. They should be able to get it either at the end of this level or at the next quest. It's normally a great place to pick it up.
This cannot be opened.
Had a pretty long run to my crypt, but having dash has really helped. It shaved a lot of time off that would have added on. I can skip this door as well by dashing into the corner here. So that sort of makes the door break without having to wait for him to animate, which takes a bit of time. Frenzy
usually-
Shrine's really lucky too.
Yeah, it usually takes him a bit of time to actually walk out the door, so we can hurry him up by breaking the thing in front of it.
This map that meatr0o's on is one of the semi-random maps. There's some fixed parts to it. There's a particular right angle he needs to go through, and then the exit is generally speaking up and to the northeast. It's very rarely off this
Yeah,
tile he's about to go on.
I got a really bad tile.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a very weird spot for that one.
Maintain your incantations. You will soon turn. I am free.
Again, another fixed map for meatr0o here, saving the Templar and adding it to him. So meatr0o will actually keep this companion throughout the run instead of picking up any of the new ones, and just allowing him to use the abilities that Templar provides.
Pick the right way.
Yeah, we like to use the Templar over the rest because not only does he have a lot of interrupts that can help us TP out of certain hairy situations, but he also gives spirit regen at later levels, and spirit is a very precious resource.
Fleeting Shrine catch-up mechanic. The game wants me to win.
So Heckson's picked up one of there's a couple good shrines. Fleeting and Empowered are the two shrines that we're really looking for. There's a Frenzy one, which increases your damage, which is great for boss fights, but Fleeting increases your run speed, and Empowered reduces your cooldown. So reducing your cooldown allows you to dash more. So both these are key in making sure you get a really good time. And picking one up is great, because we haven't seen meatr0o pick up one yet.
Oh, I did get empowered action.
Oh,
I hate this dash.
Sorry.
What you ask is impossible.
So this level's a big random box that I'm on. If I get a bad spawn here, it could allow Heckson. Oh no, I'm out. Sorry, Heckson.
I'm just about to walk in there anyway. So I have caught up a bit, which is nice. Oop.
So we've got another cutscene skip coming up for me. There's a gate that'll close inside this cutscene, so I want to walk as deep as I can into it to skip that gate closing animation and start the mob spawning quicker. So I'll walk to the far northeast, and hopefully the door's shut. Didn't get it.
spawned on the left side of the box. That's not too bad.
So that was it's very rare, but sometimes you actually saw both of them got the same random map there. Exit was in the same spot. It's fairly common when they're doing runs at the same time, but not that often.
Got the same seed.
Yeah. Okay. Protection shrine doesn't mean anything for the run.
So I have to stand outside of this guy to manipulate where he TPs to. He just used it then. So if you stand anywhere else other than right in front of him, he'll TP far away and it just slows down the run.
So Heckson managed to let the cutscene skip. As you can see, the door is closed at the time. He was able to move his character.
I try and manipulate the Templar to stand here as well, so he can keep those two busy and hopefully kill one. I get a bit of move speed for the next room. I'm not going to do it because my weapon's too slow. Maybe that's something. He can only drop Leoric's crown as well, so we sort of want legendary items to come as often as possible in this. But he will guaranteed drop one legendary item, maybe two. But yeah, we don't really care about Leoric's crown that much. It doesn't really do anything for us.
No, what they're looking for, kind of from this point onwards, once they've killed the Skeleton King, is a couple of items. One, a weapon called Balance, which essentially just increases the Tempest Rush ability, which is when it allows them to phase through mobs to a stack of damage, pretty much insta-killing every mob and boss they come up against. Another ability they're looking, or another, item they're looking for is a set of boots, which increases their right-click damage, which is the spin attack damage.
Oh, my attack speed's so slow.
We must hurry with the ritual. Naga will be here soon.
This fragment glows with the strangest light.
There you
So I'm looking for the Khazra Den now, which is the next zone. Oh god. He always appears in marathons. Khazra Den spawns in specific locations, so I'm just going to check all places. I got first spawn, which is really good.
That's really good. So meatr0o's just leaving Khazra Den. He got a later spawn than first spawn. So there's a bunch of RNG stuff which just adds on time to the run. There's nothing these runners can do about some of these map generations.
I got another Leoric's crown.
Yeah, me too.
We'll take the later one. I probably can't check both. Nah, I can't. Cool, let's equip one and move on.
You want to talk about fiddle skip?
Yeah, I can demonstrate the fiddle skip. So at the end of this fight, I'm going to have to interact with this here. So I'm going to try and blind at the same time. And I got it. So you try and play an action, some sort of skill.
It cannot be done.
1 second. And if you interact with it with a skill at the same time that you click it, you can skip the animation that wastes you about 1 or 2 seconds. So there's numerous times in the run. Act 2 has a really good demonstration of it. It's really hard to get all of them, but we're going to try and show it off. That one's a reasonably easy one. We're going to do 2 just coming up here. meatr0o will probably be doing them shortly.
So I just did another one of those NPC manipulations. You gotta wait for the scoundrel at that waypoint to catch up with you, but by dashing over that wall and getting him further enough behind, he TPs to you to catch up.
I'm just about to do that now. Am I catching up?
I can't tell.
So meatr0o has just picked up the first orb, and he's on his way to pick up the second orb.
So I want to finish this part with a bit of spirit so I can do the next fiddle skips coming up.
I got a short spawn for this, which is really good. Want to try and hold on to a dash here because I'm gonna try and have one dash on me so I can dash over a wall, so I don't have to walk out. They just tend to block you. It makes life a bit difficult. Copy check.
Look at this architecture. This predates the Sin War.
I got second spawn for this. Alright. So if everyone wants something to donate to, by the way, this isn't on the board, but we did this when we ran this at GDQ. We asked everybody to donate to help us get balances, and we somehow got 3 of them in the marathon. So
Yeah,
apparently it works. So if anyone wants to donate for us to get balances, it seems to work. I got the first fill skip, and I didn't have a spirit for the second.
Speaking of donations, do you have time for one or two?
Yep, I would say so.
Yeah, fantastic. Well, we have $100 from Nyonyas, who says, for a point, what kind of burger was ordered in Threadbow? We also have a $48 donation from Naive, who says, given money for good RNG. Remember, we do have some fantastic incentives that you can put these donations toward. Make sure you include it in the description of the donation. We have a good one coming up next run, Silent Hill 2 ending choice. Dog ahead by $50, but the other two not too far behind, so get those donations in.
I think the answer to one of those questions was a fish burger. And thanks, Knives Grill. We appreciate it. So I want to kill these as fast as I possibly can. They seem to hold each other up. That fill skip's really hard, and I can't believe I got it. Okay, so I'm on my way to save Kane. I don't know how successful I'll be, but this is one of the first chances that a good legendary can drop. So I would really like to see a balance appear here in this fight.
Wouldn't we all?
The chance is really low, but
Yeah,
getting
there's
one
something.
here,
There's something about that fight where the drops are tuned up.
yeah. And then from here on, we haven't really cared about legendaries before this because the loot table doesn't really allow for anything other than Leoric's crowns to drop. But we're at the point now where we start to be able to see actual good things. So now we sort of want to try and, if we can, fight as many things as possible.
So the next map, Heckson's heading to, and the one meatr0o's on, is a good example of a relatively static map, but with some RNG. So as we enter, we've got a 50-50 to go north or south. So the map could either spawn north or could either spawn south. So for meatr0o, it's spawn north, and then from there, there's a 1 in 4 chance. There's 4 corners that the next path can spawn on. So meatr0o hasn't been overly lucky. It hasn't been on his first 2, so he's on his way to check his 3rd.
I've finally got boots, so I'm on 7%, which is nearly as good as it gets at this part of the game. The best it will get is 12%, and they're sort of gated behind legendaries. So there is one pair of boots that we really want, Rivera Dancers. The chance of getting it, though, is pretty low also. If either of us had Rivera Dancers drop with 12% move speeds, we'd be very happy.
The best thing we could possibly get.
Statistically here, Heckson should check southeast or east spawn, because that's the one meatr0o got. And they seem to be on the same map.
Hey, that's cheating.
I actually checked southwest and got it first time.
Yeah.
This is a big time
I
save.
got the RNA bug.
Oh. Catch up mechanic.
Yeah, so if you don't do... She has 3 cycles normally. If you do enough damage, you can kill her in 2. she doesn't leave while she's casting. Oh, 2 cycle.
Did you actually 2-cycle it?
Yep.
Ah, god damn it.
So on the first cycle, she has like a... Sorry, inventory. If you're doing damage slowly, she has... I don't know what she's supposed to be doing, but she does like a cast where she just stands still and does nothing, but she can't interrupt it. So she can stay there for a really long time.
I was 1 kick away from a 2-cycle.
Oh, there we go. You want to talk about the Carinia?
Yeah, why we even wait for this quest?
Or you can if you're waiting. Actually.
Yep. Okay, so this quest here, usually for stuff like this with NPCs, we can actually just ignore them and walk away. But she's a weird one because the next quest that we... Ooh, frenzy. The next quest that we pick up here won't appear on the map, but if we speak to her, we will. So it saves you time just to stand back and talk to her because this quest appears on the map so... it's very lenient with how early it shows you. So I'm just going to pop my head on this right side of the map. I'm going to pop my head over here. I've got the bad one, so it's quite a walk over to the west. But if I didn't do that quest, I would have no idea. I would have to explore everywhere. So yeah, it just saves time. Just hang back for a sec. We sort of want 2-handers as well to... Like, we don't want to have 2 1-handers as our weapons, because they attack fast and it lets you get spirit back quickly, but they don't do as much damage with your kicks. So all the best weapons are 2-handers, and we sort of want them, but at this point of the game, it's hard to get a good 2-hander. Yeah, sorry, Whisperer.
Okay. So this next map that meatr0o is heading up to is a good example of why Monk is one of the fastest classes. This dash allows him to skip a bunch of pathing in that first room there, and then here allows him to almost essentially skip this entire fight. And just by dashing through that wall there, he's on to the next level.
There'll always be 2 shrines spawning in this room as well that I'm about to put my head in, just before Leoric's courtyard. So we sort of want to spend a bit of time just to pop our head in and look. It'll a lot of time just be a health shrine and an XP shrine or something, but if it is a fleeting or an empowered, it's such a big time save. Yeah, I got the normal.
So meatr0o has just found the trigger for the end of this map, which is the cleavers. These always spawn either north or south, so you do a really good job of finding them pretty quickly there.
Have a look at me and see if I mess it up. Didn't mess it up. That dash is harder than it looks. Not impossible or anything, but it is definitely possible to fail. meatr0o will soon be doing a dash that's really difficult. And we make it difficult on ourselves for how early we try to attempt it.
Yeah, there are safer setups, but... they're slow.
Safer setups are for losers.
There we go.
Oh, this dash is really... so one thing to talk about here is I tried to do a dash over a really difficult corner, but I couldn't do it. Doors though. So what tends to happen is you can't dash through walls that have shut doors in this game, and it's really inconsistent, weird feature. You'll also see it in meatr0o screen too. My map was so terrible.
Yeah. So meatr0o's looking for a bunch of dead prisoners and their remains. He's got to release them all. There's 2 sides to this map, the kind of the northwest side and the southeast side. There's a chance that all of them could spawn up one side and he doesn't have to go down the other. That's actually pretty rare. But both sides have a set layout, or a set of layouts they can spawn in. The south side tends to be easier than the top side.
Man.
Got pretty below average luck here. Only had 2 on the northwest side.
Okay, I'm about to do that difficult dash that I mentioned. So I could save a dash here as a backup, but I'm absolutely not going to because I'm arrogant. Yeah. So we try and time ourselves to get to a broken cobble that's on the ground, and you've got to sort of dash. There's like a parallax effect that goes on there, where it looks like it's straight, but it's actually off on an angle a bit. So it's hard to learn, but once you sort of get the hang of it, it's a lot easier. I think a lot easier is probably the wrong term, but doable.
Now
So
approaching
I've got
the
3
end of-
prisoners on the north, which is good.
So meatr0o's on his way to end boss of this first act. Now, generally speaking, all end bosses will drop a legendary. So here's one of the first key moments that a balance would normally drop in a good run. What he's looking for here is a northeast facing tile set. The boss essentially tile always spawns on that northeast set, and he's found it here.
That was a weird layout. I was worried I went the wrong way.
I can get a balance drop there as well from the warden, and I sort of had hopes. That dash is more difficult than it looks to.
The goal of fighting Butcher here is just to keep him facing the door, because he has a couple of charge moves and he'll just keep ramming the door and stay as close as possible to the exit if you're facing this way.
Oh wow, the same tile over and over again. So I've had to make a decision here. One of the hard things about this run is you're always trying to draw a picture of the map in your head. So I've had to make decisions, and a lot of them can just be guesses, but I know that the way the map gets pieced together is that the exit is always going to be facing northeast. So I'm pretty sure I've gone the right way now. It should be right here. But we're always trying to go in the direction of where the exit probably will be. So I had to make a guess that it would be either northeast or southeast there that would get me there. And a lot of the run is just that, is having a look at the map and going like, knowing what tends to happen, where do I have to go to get there? There's no consistent way to predict it for a lot of them, but some of them we can, and we have tricks that we can use. So I'm doing the same thing here. I'm fighting the Butcher. I'm trying to hope that I get a good legendary. I don't want any one-handers. They suck. A lot of the two-handers suck too.
Yeah, I got Odin's son.
What'd you get, meatr0o? Laid on
Odin's son?
I got squirts.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, squirts is good.
So the good thing about Heckson got an amulet. The good thing about it is it'll scale, and he won't replace it for the whole run.
A lot of times you change how you play based on what items you get. So the fact that I have squirts now, it gives you a damage, pretty much double damage if you don't get hit for a period. So I need to now try and pay attention to not getting hit and not getting hit in boss fights, which is a lot harder than it seems. Because I tend to just be running in a straight line through enemies, and they're always going to get little pot shots on me. So if I don't use it, then I essentially got nothing from Butcher. So I do have to pay attention and use it as much as I can.
One of the good things about running Diablo is every run's different in its own way.
So we're both out of Act 1 now, we're into Act 2. Act 2 is one of the bigger time sinks of the run. You can lose a lot of time here. Act 5 being the worst. So Act 5 is really difficult. and you'll have to do a long run to then work out if Act 5 is going to let you PB. So we have to deal with that a lot. Act 2, however, we're looking to fight the boss Zoltan Cool halfway through the run, and a lot of the time is lost in that run. So we're both hoping for good luck leading up into that bit. I got Enlighten Shrine. Enlighten Shrine increases our experience gain while the effect is up. Not incredibly useful. So one thing that... Whisperer, do you want to talk about the next XP breakpoint we've got?
Yes, the next XP breakpoint they're looking for is level 15. One of the abilities in Diablo is that each ability can be essentially augmented. And level 15 gives them an augment on that dash ability, essentially giving them run speed for the next, is it 5 or 6 seconds?
Yeah, something like that.
Something like that. So the next 5 or 6 seconds after you dash, you've got increased run speed. So it really encourages you to dash, use that run speed up, dash, use that run speed up. And kind of by the time that second dash's run speed is used up, you've got that first dash back again. And that kind of encourages really and kind of gets that run going to pretty much maximum speed. There's another breakpoint at level 20, which your spirit starts to increase. And there's another ability you can start to use to go faster, being Tempest Rush. But really, level 15, you start to pretty much move at the pace you could be moving at.
Just let me do another one of those NPC manipulations there. If you keep talking to him and distract him, what that NPC needs to do is run to the gate and open it for you. But if you keep talking to him and distracting him, he'll teleport to the gate once he realizes he needs to be there, rather than walk.
We were very pleased when we discovered that.
There's a really nice dash coming up here that skips a reasonable length of walking period as well. One of the great things about the community of Diablo is there's a bunch of runners doing it, and all the new runners to the scene haven't run it 100,000 times and kind of have gotten into a rhythm, and they can think outside the box. So that run that was discovered by, was it Chicken Cat?
That's Naive Squirrel, and he's in the chat right now, so if everyone could beat Naive Squirrel and congratulate him on finding one of the more fun dashes of the run. I'm sure you want to be beat. So I'm a bit behind in time, but I'm pretty good for damage, which is really good. It's damage can slow you down so much, and it's one of the things that makes Monk hard to speedrun. They're really fast to move, so I've just done that same manipulation to make them open the door quickly. But having great damage is something that we want to have as much as possible. 76 DPS is pretty low for this part of the game, but Squirts is taking that up to 140, which is way too good for this part of the game. So the challenge is on me to keep this buff down the bottom here. That has to stay at 10. And it's going to be very hard to do. So I'm going to be doing Naive Squirrel's dash as well soon. I'm not going to have a dash held because I backed myself. Yep, I got it too. There's a setup that we use where you have to hover your mouse over a trapdoor that's there, and that makes it more consistent. It's very easy to mess up though because it's max range of your dash. Okay, so I got a few hits on her with Squirts before she hit me. But that was a good fight.
It's quite a maze down here, isn't it?
So the next part of the run for me is pretty difficult. meatr0o will probably be there now. We're going through the sewers, and the sewers are very random. There's a few things that we can use to sort of help. We spent a lot of time practicing recently trying to get more ideas and understanding of how the maps piece together, but still it's just very, very random.
Sorry, Heckson. I think meatr0o just is that your third empowered shrine?
Yeah, this has been this has been above average luck.
Give me a break. Game, if when I'm racing the world record holder, give me a couple of empowers. I just gotta play better.
I will not do that.
So yeah, so these sewers that Heckson's in and meatr0o will be returning to shortly. They're kind of solved. There's a couple of them where we know what the layout's going to look like, or the tiles we're looking for. So Heckson's looking for a four-way, which that might have been, or this might be. And off that four-way will be the exit.
This is the sort of place
Oh, and in this case, it was that first four-way. Or it should be that first four-way.
Right here, yeah. I try and walk through the cutscene there as well, so I can end up in the middle of the fight without having to walk. Okay, so
Whoa.
this second... Here you go, meatr0o.
So I was going to say a couple really good dashes here from meatr0o. A lot of these tiles got long bits that could get a wrap around and walk through, but they're really close together. Again, really showing off that dash capability of the mod. That was actually a really relatively long map, wasn't it, meatr0o?
Yeah. Went
that-
above average, but
If you keep holding
I got the old empowered just to make it not so bad.
Come on.
What we usually look for when we're looking for empowered is obviously to make great gains in speed, but we usually get an empowered and then get below average maps. So it balances out to about the same.
I had a random Y-hander just drop,
Ooh,
which
nice.
the damage of that is not too great. I'm not going to really get the chance to check it either. I've had really bad luck on this map. I had a four-way dead end.
This place reeks of demons.
But hopefully I can get great rolls in this Y-hander and the damage can carry me through to Act 2. 88 DPS is what I'm on now, and that's very good. If I can get above 100, be in a very good position. I'm going to go for a very difficult move speed setup here. Got to break these two. Actually going to get it. That was very lucky. It's a harder way to do that, but I luckily had 5 barrels spawn there. So this place, the exit spawns in 7 locations, and we've got to check them all. So I've just checked the first one. The second one's just up here a little bit. It's not there. And so we just got to check them all in the most efficient order that we can. And then try and find Zoltankul's head. So the earlier you find it, the better.
So meatr0o is currently on one of the relatively unsolved maps, being the Eastern Channel. Still theory crafting onto how and where the exit may be spawning, depending on what tiles you're seeing in this map. Again,
Long
you
random
probably
one.
had to explore most of that map to get the end there.
Man, I've got last Cool's head spawn. Give me a break, game.
I can't imagine why my young partner bashed me over the head and sealed me in there. This place is quite dangerous without a knowledgeable guide.
You run into danger like one seeking death, old man.
Crucible, it's mine. Be careful.
Nothing.
Such pessimism from one so young.
You go on ahead.
So there are different strats about what skills you can take. I think one I've always been a big fan of is taking Exploding Palm, because you can use it to, assuming the mobs around them behave and stay close by, you can use it to pretty much execute bosses. But it does take a lot. It is quite spirit intensive and does take a bit of NPC manipulation to get it to work.
I don't even know where my cave is.
Could not destroy them. They could only lock the door behind them. And I still have the keys.
Guys, other than the RNG and the route, are there any major differences between the two routes you guys are running?
There's no difference between the routes.
The strategies we're using, I suppose, is probably the best way to put it.
Yeah, so a lot of the stuff we're doing is changes based on what items we get and what the maps give us. The run itself is pretty set. So what we're trying to do most of the time is just work out what the end of each map is going to look like through guesswork and through just experience. Not too much will change in some maps, and some maps are completely random, so that's what we're sort of having to deal with most of the time.
So what are you looking for in this map, Heckson?
So right now, I'm looking for... I've had some really weird tiles connect. But so I'm looking for these dashing corners. I'm looking for Zoltankul's head. And Zoltankul's head spawns... Look at this, this is crazy. All of them are pieced together, and so yeah, it's just random how these tiles generate. You can see some really funky ones like that I just had to deal with then. It's really novel seeing that. So now that I've got this, I've used a waypoint to get ahead.
What you ask is impossible.
And I can start heading towards the western and eastern channel where meatr0o was.
Break beneath the endless tide.
So I'm trying to get to level 15, and I'm pretty over-leveled still, which is really good. Oof. I want to try and stay as high-leveled as I can, and then, if possible, stop.
It cannot be done.
Yeah, we tend to go until we hit level 20, I think is the last level we actually want for speed. Then everything after that just makes bosses harder to kill. So we want to, if we've got damage items that kill enemies around us, so things like Heart of Iron or Poxfolds, we'll usually ditch them at that point.
Okay, so the part I'm coming up to is the worst part of this act, and thank you for giving me an empowered shrine for it. It's so good. So there's not a lot that we can use to know if we're going the right way, but this is one of the only ones that I can use. I've actually never seen that before, have a dead end on this putrid muck. The putrid muck is usually a sign that you're going the right way. So I'm looking for a loop like this, so being on this loop I know I'm on the right way. These are going to connect, and then I just head straight here. That's actually a really short western channel. And that's really good. That's exactly what we want. Actually, sometimes they show you in advance, and it can trick you and slow you down, but it's alright. I sort of predicted it. I've seen it enough. So Eastern Channel, the one I'm in now, is the worst. There is just no way to predict. I originally thought there was just 2 maps that were generated. Then we sort of built that up to 5. And now I don't even know what the number is. So I think I know what tile set I'm on now. I should have a long walk, and I'm hoping that by being correct that the exit should just be on one of these 2 T intersections. So we'll see. The bad thing about this map is though is that, yeah, okay, it was where I thought it was, so I got lucky.
What you ask is impossible.
And that's very good. So we're still looking for balances as well. They can sort of come at any point. meatr0o should be
take-
getting up to Belial soon, right?
I'll take any two-handed, to be honest.
And so this level that I'm on now, the hidden aqueducts, is another example of we know where it's going to end, but we don't know how to get there. I know that it will always be a northeast running path. So when you come up to a T-intersection like this, you just literally have to guess which way is going to be more, or which way you feel like it's going to be. Luckily, I had a short dead end, so I didn't get punished for going the wrong way. And we're still looking for speed boosts as well. See, one of the problems is I've had that random legendary drop, but I just don't have time to check it. There is going to be a point coming up where I am going to be able to have a look. And that'll be just before the fight with Zoltan Call, which is really the first time that I really need it. I don't care too much about my damage at this point. At this zone as well, it's another place where we have multiple spawns and we just got to check places. I got really lucky in the vault is the first spawn. So I need to work out what my map looks like, because I can make decisions based off. So I'm on the edge of a box, so it should be here. Yeah. And so that was really lucky. It was a good map. I know that tile. I see it often enough. Now I'm looking for the cave. If I could get it right here, that would be really good. The waypoint spawn there instead. Then the next spawn can be up here. No. The Shaitan, the giant earthworm, was there instead, which I appreciate. Where are you at, meatr0o?
Just hit cool.
And I could get there. So I probably got cave at last spawn, it looks like. Which is okay, because I'm on the way there anyway. The cave can be really short or really long. Yeah, it was. So it's a really difficult part of the game because you have so many opportunities to get speed boost. It can bait you into thinking you have enough and you don't. You've got to make good decisions on the fly all the time. The maps are filled with loops, so I have to check a lot of dead ends, but luckily none of them are too punishing. Sometimes it can really get you in the second level. I would say we're probably just on a blank walk right now, so if any donations, you're welcome to pop them out now.
Yeah, absolutely. I do have one ready and raring to go. It's a $20 donation from Chicken, who says, contributing to the Balance RNG Fund. Good luck.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think, thanks Chicken Cat, I think that needs to be topped up because we haven't seen a balance yet. And no offense everyone, but
I'd really like a balance.
getting a balance would help a lot, and it's kind of all on you.
It does look like all the RNG is going one way by the looks of things.
Yeah, but the good thing about this run is I don't feel bad at all because Act 5 is the worst part of the game.
Yeah, there's still lots of RNG to go, so it's not even close to being over by any means.
Yeah, the maps in Act 5, you're just going to hear me say over and over and over again, this map sucks, it's the worst map of the game. Yeah, and there's not much that we can do about it, speeding it up, so I can just get excellent luck and meatr0o can get terrible luck, so it's not over until we get there. I just discovered something, or I didn't, Whisperer did, last night, that speeds up one of the worst sections of the run last night and actually makes it consistent, so we'll show that off when we get there also. So right now I'm on the way to the Archives of Zoltan Call. meatr0o's done this, but I've got 2 portals to check through. I need to get speed boost as much as I possibly can. There's a lot of opportunities to get random legendaries drop, so I want to try and maximize that as much as I can. And it's just knowing how to piece these terrible maps together. Because this section here, all it wants to do is trick you. So this one can be a dead end or it can be the correct way, and it's the correct way. But it's given me an annoying one. I can get speed boosts.
Oh, got a belt.
Belt is the least interesting item that you can get, so I'll take that, and hopefully I get something better.
Yeah, belts are
If
a
anyone
gag.
wants to...
They're a gag item for us just because they don't give you anything useful to the run.
Yeah, if anyone wants to donate to Beyond Blue for me to have a balance and not meatr0o, that would be very good. Because he's already had a belt. So Belial is one of the best parts of the game that you can get balance from. Because if you get it too early, the damage can fall off, and by the time you get to Act 5, it's not really relevant anymore. If I could get it in Act 2, it'll be useful for the entire game. That's not the right way. So if I could get into the Belial fight and get a balance drop, I'll be able to hold that and it will carry me through right through Malthal and still be a really strong item. If I get a gold wrap, I will cry on stream. And you'll all see it.
You'll see a grown man cry.
Yeah. So I've had pretty good West and East sides of Salt and Cools. This one is pretty easy to get to the end to. It just sort of depends if it lets you. The end can be really short and can just be as soon as you enter, and it would just be so nice if it was, but it just hasn't been lately. We have a theory, and man, we would love a Blizzard dev to weigh in on this, but the seed for maps and for items and stuff is based on like month, because it seems like we just have monthly luck. And like, you know, it'll be good luck for a month, bad luck for a month. We see a lot of balances drop one month, and then we're seeing a lot of one-handers. So we're in a no short Realm of Shadow month, which isn't the end of the world.
So this next part coming up for me, I've got a bit of an auto-scroller, so I've got a bit of time to relax. One of the few breaks we get in the run. But this part, there's 3 objectives that the game intends you to babysit until they finish. But what we're trying to do to make it all faster is we'll start them and get away from them fast enough that the enemies will despawn and they can just run on their own. It's very risky because if we leave an enemy too close, the enemies will off-screen kill the guys who are doing the work and softlock the game. So I will try to be very careful.
And if you softlock, you literally just have to go back to the menu, start the map again. It is very punishing.
I actually am quite nervous about that.
I've had enough spirit to do a few fiddle skips, so I want to try and show this off. I'll see if I can do this one.
So when we come across an elite, I just, for safety, kill it every time. There's... Oh, I don't like either of these. I'm going to softlock.
Give me the softlock.
You honestly might get it.
It's a very integral part of the game. There's a few softlocks. I'm in another softlock zone too. I can softlock here and have to restart and do this one. It's not super punishing, but I do have to do this event again if I do. I just take a lot of precautions to make sure that we don't. Like, I could be quick and walk just in front of that sewer and still get it, but sometimes it will make Leah and Adria just stand back there and they won't come here and they won't open this door for me. But once they start opening the door, I'm all good. Okay, so if you want, feel free to read any donations I have to give me balance luck, if you have any. This would probably be a good time for it.
Fantastic and good timing because I just got a $20 donation from ON or On. There's balance for Heckson, more belt for meatr0o.
I love it.
This might be a good time to plug some incentives as well coming up. Not only can you balance out the RNG, you can also contribute to some naming incentives. The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time file name coming up very soon. Melvin is currently sitting on $60. Do I hear a Mr. Do in chat? But if you want Melvin to be overtaken, that's $60. He'd be very easily overtaken by a Shadow Horse of Hector. Coming up soon. We also have a incentive for a Hat in Time coming up on Sunday to choose between either Hat Kid or Bow Kid as the character choice. So make sure you get those donations in at donate.ozspeedruns.com.
Thank you so much for that donation. My damage is insane right now. So hopefully, if I can get a balance, I will be so strong and so fast.
You'll be glad to know, Heckson, I didn't soft lock.
Not the last opportunity. If you want to watch Belial killed quickly, GDQ, we did it in about 2 seconds. That's the time we want. I didn't get balance, but I did get... what's it called? Pledge of Chaldeum. Which is, an okay damage two-hander, so it's not the end of the world. What we want is multipliers, and balance will give you a 500% damage boost while you're Tempest Rushing, and that's just so good. Pledge is just a strong item. So I'm at the next XP breakpoint that I want to be at, level 17, and level 17 is really good. It gives a 7-sided strike, which takes away a lot of the problems monks have. I'm going to do a really difficult dash here. Yeah, so monks are really bad at killing bosses, as you could just see with the fight I had with Belial. Nearly every class can do that much quicker than monks can. But with balance, it takes it away and we become up there with one of the best at killing bosses.
I will not do that.
So 7-sided strike, what it will do is it is another one of those large damage multipliers, and will just damage multiply all your attack damage onto everything in the room. So if you've only got one thing to kill, it'll put all that damage onto that one enemy. So getting 7-sided strike as early as possible is very ideal for the run. This is about the time that roughly you get it. You could get it before Belial and it makes the run a lot better. It's hard to get that experience and be fast though.
We are not alone in here.
Okay, give me an update, meatr0o. Where are you?
Just fighting Dom. With very little damage.
Oof, that's such a big damage increase. I'll check this helm, but I think this was not the random one I got. Yeah, no, chuck it.
So
Yeah,
we'd like
so
to
I'm
be in
at
a
263 DPS right now, and that's massive.
Tell you what I'm at. 138. So we'd like to be in a position to be able to one-shot Dom there, but unfortunately my 7-sided only got him to half health. So I'm very below average damage-wise. But I'll make up for it by running fast.
What you ask is impossible.
So I'm doing the same thing that meatr0o did. I'm just doing the run. My soft lock is about to come up.
It cannot be done.
So I'm hoping I'm going to try and be quick. So I'm going to take the risk, which, you know, may be stupid, maybe smart. You can be very safe and nurse these, but I'm absolutely not going to do that. We speedrun to be quick. So So I just need to make sure all 3 of them are dead and that nothing else is hanging around the area. If that's the case, then I can leave. As long as I've got elites at the door. I've got 2 elites at the door. That's such bad luck. So these elites have to be killed. Oh. Oh, but I had Crutus Boot spawn. I'm going to take a risk here, and I'm actually going to leave that elite because they don't seem to be following me. We'll see if that's a good or bad decision very soon.
Fingers crossed.
God. I want to actually, like, normally in a run, like, it took me a long time to check those weapons that I picked up. But if I pick up boots, Crutus boots can roll 12%, and we can't roll 12% movement speed on boots with anything other than these, pretty much. So I want to check these as soon as I can, because that's such a good catch-up mechanic that I will hopefully abuse to catch back up to Metro. I don't have to stress too much about doing this quest that I'm doing quick, because the first one is always takes the longest, and hopefully I haven't soft locked there. Okay. So I'm going to have a bit of time to check these when I get into town. And we'll see if I've soft locked here. 10% move speed, so that's not perfect, but it's still better than what we can roll. The most we can roll now is 9%. So it may be still Metro may not even get 10% boost at any point in the run. So I didn't soft lock either.
Ooh.
And luckily I didn't take the risk, or I didn't stay back and fight them. So I took the risk and it paid off. Whisperer, do you want to explain the GOM map and where I'm sort of trying to go?
Yeah, so GOM is an annoying split. It's historically been a very variable split. You'll see runs come here and be chucked out the window and absolutely just quit. What he's looking for is level 1. He's looking for a northwest exit. Northwest exit, which is why you saw him running up that way. It could be this tile. Well, that was a really good dash. So that dash somewhere around the bottom, there's a door. Fortunately, that wasn't the way. And that door was open. That is a terrible dead end.
Wow.
Oh, so what he's looking for is a fire tile on this first one that goes northeast, or kind of more north really than any direction. And he kind of hasn't found it, which means probably a lot of backtracking for him. Could be up this path here.
Yeah, it probably is. Metro, you got to see that dead end after this.
And then the next level, he's also looking for a more northwest, but still a north exit. So you'll see him always checking. If he comes in face to face with a split, he's going north.
This is it. I found the correct tile.
Yeah, so that's the correct tile. That's the fire tile he was looking for.
Your presence.
So Metro's on the path to Sedea. So these maps are static, but random the order you get them. Is that right, Metro?
There's a couple that can spawn 1 or 2 different types. So like level 2 can be like 1 or 2 different maps. But once you work out which one you're on, they're always the same.
So he's got a relatively set path for whichever one he identifies that he has. So the dashes are timed, the placements are pretty much perfect. Metro is one of the best runners through this bit. In our co-op runs that we do, no one can match his speed still.
Except for me.
That's sweet of you to say.
So I've got a weird one. I tend to want to be going southwest when doing this map. I think I have it. But going northeast and northwest is not common and kind of stressful, but I did luckily go the right way. So this tile here, or this map, you can spawn in 4 different locations. So I know I've spawned the southeast side. So you can either go south, it can either be northwest, northeast, or southeast. So I've spawned at southeast, which is really good, so it eliminates one. It can never be southwest. So the annoying thing about this one is that it can just be a lot of doors. I need to equip 7-sided strike as soon as possible. So, and that's good. I picked the first wave first time. That's very good. That golem actually was pretty good. This used to be a really difficult split for us because it's so random, but we have sort of solved it a little bit. Not that it's perfect, but good enough. I didn't really get anything that I care about there.
I do hope you're not in over your head.
Okay, so this is just a set piece. There's nothing really that I can do to make this faster. I want to try and get the Templar and Tyrael to stand close to each other so that the little black things don't spread out across the map and I can just Tempest Rush them quickly.
Do you want to talk about the hard skip that I just did, Whisper?
Yeah, so there's a couple of different types of skips. That heart skip is essentially a waypoint skip. When you complete an objective in a map, if the waypoint hasn't been activated yet, the waypoint will activate it if you completed essentially all the objectives for that map. So what happens there is he's done the heart event, and what that means is the next waypoint has activated because that checkpoint's been checked. That waypoint is actually well ahead of where you can get by just running in the same time as teleporting back to town and jumping to the waypoint. So you'll see that can happen a couple of different times throughout the run. It's very useful at just essentially removing a stack of running, just teleporting out and getting there very quickly and abusing that activation of the teleport. Really, probably shouldn't activate until you walk over it, but you know, they've made it this way, so we're going to use it.
I'll take it.
Yeah, if they give it, I take it. Now give me a balance.
I'll take that.
So I had to check for 3 catapults or 3 ballistas.
Oh, I got balance.
Oh, come on!
I got it off
Give me balance.
Oh, so I really need
Balance
to
off
ID this.
Sadeo, wow.
When do I ID
Okay.
this? Next act.
Okay, so I need one too.
Thanks to everyone who donated.
How do I
appreciate
get one?
it.
Where have there been sneaky donations to meatr0o?
The game mustn't have read the names in the comments.
I'm afraid no new donations as of yet, but if you do want to see this RNG balance out, now's the time to get those donations in. It seems like one person's pulling ahead and the other one, unfortunately, falling behind. We need that balanced out, friends.
Yeah, we need it balanced out, literally. And only donations to Beyond Blue can do it.
So meatr0o here entering the end boss for this particular Act 3. Again, this is a guaranteed legendary drop, so again, you might often find a balance here. You're just lucky to get one off a non-guaranteed boss.
Got Poxfolds.
It's pretty good. Poxfolds drop a area of effect gas around you that is good for. It helps you get out of when you need to teleport out of areas. So that's one of the main benefits of using it in the speedrun, but it also generates you a huge amount of experience because it triggers every time 3 enemies are around you. So you just end up killing enemies in your wake as you walk. So there is actually a point though. It's sometimes we'll just throw it away though because it will give us too much experience, and we haven't spoken about it. But once we get to level 20, we actually want to chuck it. Because if we start to go past level 21, level 22, mobs will level up with us as we level. So they get to a point where we're not really getting the time to check legendaries. We're not getting great items anymore, and the game is just getting harder and harder. So we need to stop leveling up. And level 20 is the time we do that because the skills we get aren't as useful for being fast anymore. So the map I'm on currently is Area Crater 1. I know I've gone the right way now by that appearing. It's really difficult to click or to choose the correct way because it often gives you 50-50 splits that can equally be the correct way. So you're always trying to head northeast. The exit is always northeast, so you know that. And then you just have to use that information to make 50-50 guesses. A lot of the times the decision-making process for us when choosing is one, just based on experience, like what we see more often of, and then also there's what is the fastest. So we'll low roll or high roll a lot of decisions that we have to make. So if there's a chance that we go northeast and it's really fast, it could be really fast, but there's a low chance of getting it. But it's a long walk on this going west. We'll probably go northeast a lot of the time, just because like if you're doing multiple runs of Diablo, I don't want to have a PB with the slow one on. I'd rather have the fast one and not miss it. So I'm doing a very difficult dash that Crooked discovered, one of our runners. There, got it. So that was only discovered, I think, back in February that you could do that, and it saves a whole walk around the edge. So I'm going to attempt something really hard here. This is a new trick to get out of this area without having to walk. So I need to get to town, and I need to 7-sided strike these succubus. I got it. Okay, now I need to TP out. Oh, I can't believe I got that. That was really good. Now that saves about 8 seconds of walking. And usually you just have to kill and then walk all the way down there. But so now not only do I have save the time of walking, but I also have my 2 dashes still. So it's a really good time save. And we sort of, I'll TP, and that was a really short area crater too as well. I'll try and dash after, so I do that 7-sided strike, kill the heart and the 2 succubuses at the same time, which is requires a bit of timing, so you saw me hesitate. And then when I get to... I want a better shrine than that. But when I get to... as soon as the heart dies, I'll then try and dash up, because the sort of little creatures in this will spawn constantly, and they'll never let you get out. But I found that area just above seems to consistently give you enough time. They may just take a swing at you before you get out. I was lucky that not a huge amount spawned. But getting out there is really good, and it's not guaranteed. I couldn't really be sure if meatr0o got out using it. Did you?
Sorry, what was it?
The first... the day...
Oh, yeah, the heart skip. Yeah, I got it.
I bet you not get it next time.
I tried to soft block it.
Yeah.
So Act 4, which meatr0o's on, is one of the shortest acts of the run. There's not a lot of RNG. There's kind of 2 RNG maps and 2 static maps with RNG on them in terms of you looking for a portal. He's done the 2 portals. He's on the first RNG map, which you're trying to find this exit, which is... We like to say a couple of things. So while, you know, there is your high rolling low and south, we have a couple of sayings in terms of we kind of like to go the straight direction. We don't tend to like to turn off the path we're on. So we like to say gate is great. So we've got a couple of kind of superstitious things we like to do.
Yeah. So I'm doing the second version of the dash that I just did the first time. So this one's much more consistent. You sort of have to get it in the run. meatr0o being on Act 4 is a really difficult part of the map, because the maps are most of the part, of the game. So most of the maps are set. We know where we're going for most of them, but we're looking for rifts that randomly spawn out of, like, I think it's 8 places, isn't it? Or 9 places?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, so there's not a huge amount that we can do to make it spawn at the closer one. We just have to hope. And you can save a minute or lose 2 minutes. Like, not a huge amount that you can do. I'm hoping for a balance here, by the way.
The good part of this act is there's a lot of shrine spawns. So if you high roll, you can have him powered all the way to the end of the act.
I actually got... We call this the poor man's balance. Just 1 second, this is really difficult. So So they're not bad. So I've actually now got a multiplier for my damage. I need to find time to check it, which will be hard. I might do it when I get a Rakanov. I might do it here actually. So what this does is every time I cast blind, I essentially get the same effects that balance gives. So I can't use it all the time, and that's one of the main things that balance gives you is the ability to do insane amounts of damage and use it as mobility as well. So I can't do that here, but I can at least shred bosses. Okay, so I need to equip blind as soon as possible because it doesn't do any damage without them being blinded. We're both at our final breakpoint. meatr0o's probably at the experience breakpoint now at level 20. So, do you want to explain with meatr0o what we're looking for at 20? What skills we're equipping?
Yep, so there's two different things. At 20, similar to 10, you get your second passive slot. And the second passive these guys are going to equip is a passive that gives them regen in their spirit. So essentially, one of the main drawbacks to this run is you just run out of spirit. You can't get through mobs, you can't fight mobs without spirit. So having that passive really boosts up the spirit generation and actually allows them to do the second thing a lot more. So the second thing is augmenting that Tempest Rush with movement speed. So at 20, that Tempest Rush, and you can see meatr0o doing it through the mobs, it gives them an extra little bit of speed. So that combined with the extra spirit regen really this is the final form of the run in terms of the speed these guys are going to get.
Yeah, so I've just gotten level 20 now as well. So you're going to see us using Tempest Rush all the time. We try and hold on to it for spirit, but now that we've got this great combination of spirit and spirit generation and a mobility skill, we just have to use it constantly. Okay. Rakanov doesn't tend to drop anything good, so I don't tend to stay around and see what he's got. Now I just need luck. So I'm going to check all these growths. So that's really good. That's the first spawn. That's the first possible chance he can get. So that saved me a good amount of time. The second level will have more Hell Rifts. So I need to have a... If I get the first one there, that saves me a huge amount of time. I want to try and manipulate him to stand away from this because he's so big, he takes up the entire map. And I can't click the portal that I need to get out. So you try and bait him to go away from it. And even if I have to get hit, I don't care. Just need to get out of the way because he's so huge. And he was an annoying one because he made copies of himself. So he was covering more and more of the screen. Okay, so hopefully it's right here. This is the first spawn. No. So this is the second spawn. You can't spawn at the ones that are in corridors, so that's just in my way to block me and slow me down. This is the third. This is my fourth. I got it. Yep, that's not too bad. I start to have to deviate from the path a bit there if it's not there, so it's good that I got it early. Okay. So I'm on my way now to fight Izuol, who is such... we haven't really talked about this, but bosses in this game aren't super threatening, but they're threatening to a speedrunner. Nearly all of them have no interest in fighting you and have more of an interest in running away. So, Izuol is one of those ones where he doesn't run away, but what he'll do is he'll try and freeze me nearly the entire time we're fighting. He'll freeze me maybe 3 times in a second. So I need to hopefully kill him before he does that. And my damage is really good. I should have squirts fully charged by that point, so I hopefully will just one-tap him. But we'll see.
Would you like some extra luck for this fight, sir?
Please give me some extra luck for this fight.
Beautiful. We have 3 donations. We've got a $100 donation from Jamie who says donating 1 bit for Heckson.
How have you done that?
For you. We've also got a $25 anonymous donation that says Karen for Super Boss fight. And we got a $20 donation from Michael that says, "Thank you for all the work you guys are doing. Good luck in the Kingdom Hearts 1.5 run. Please make the Gumi ship name Excalibur," which actually overtakes the previous name, Brum, which was on $10. So if you want to see that ship called Brum, good throwback, a little bit of nostalgia for all us Australian kids. That's just fallen behind Excalibur now by $10. So get those donations in for that run coming up a little bit later tonight.
Brum is a pretty good name. I would donate to that. Okay, so this is the fight with Izuol. I need him to not hit me. Oh my god, the iframes. Okay, he only got me once, that's pretty good.
It cannot be done.
So the next part I'm going to is one of the only places in the run that you can actually, that is actually random. This and the one I just did before. So here I'm just trying to get my head around what these tiles look like and where they can exit. The exit can be in any direction. I feel like this is actually a dead end and is the wrong way. So what we do know in this, and it's not 100%, but it's enough, is that bridges are good. So if you see a bridge, we tend to just go on them. Okay, so I'm on a corner here, so the exit's probably this way. Oh, I hate this tile. This corner here always tricks you. It makes you think you're at a dead end, but it actually continues here. So I see this bridge, I'm going down a bridge, 100%. I'm about to come up and finish Act 4 as well. I'll be fighting Diablo. Sparrow, do you want to give them a heads up of how Diablo sucks?
Yeah, so Diablo, as Heckson kind of said, likes to run away from you. The big bad ending boss of the game is nothing but a scaredy cat to these guys. So Diablo has 3 phases. First phase, once Heckson runs up to him, just kind of be a normal fight. If you were kind of doing it correctly when this first came out, he'd be trying to grab you, he'd be throwing fire beams at you. What's actually going to happen is probably Heckson's going to hit him a little bit and Diablo's going to try and run away, trying to position himself a bit better. Second phase, which he's just entering now, you really want to finish him off essentially in one hit. So let's see if he gets it.
I have so much damage. This is really good. I also have 2 methods of killing him because I've got blind and 7-sided strike. So that usually that fight is a lot harder.
Yeah. That was a really well executed fight.
So I usually we won't wait for the legendary for him, but because I'm behind, I would like to get balance. So I'm actually going to hang around and see if he drops it. Oh. No, it's Flesh Rake, which is not what we want. Flesh Rake, by this point in the game, we don't want one-handers anymore, and Flesh Rake is a pretty average one-hander.
Stole all the balances because I got there first.
Yeah. So I've had to replace my pledge, which was my 2-hander. So its damage has outlasted its use, which is a shame for this. Even if you have balanced damage modifier, even though the weapon may not be good anymore, the damage modifier is always going to be good. But Pledge doesn't have any damage modifiers on it, so it just needs to go. Just getting a yellow staff is going to be better than it now. So we're both in Act 5. Act 5 is really difficult. Nearly every split is incredibly random, and there's not a huge amount that we can do to change that. We have made some discoveries and some really good tech that we can show off.
I will not do that.
Just about to show off your discovery you made last night.
Yeah, so meatr0o hasn't actually done the run with this information before, so it'll be interesting to see his decision making. So last night we essentially found out that what he's doing here is there's 4 different passages he can enter. One of them's already been ruled out, which is the wind passage, and he's got to find some guide stones. Normally to play, you find those guide stones and they rule out the passage. What we can do now is we can go into the crypt, and if we see a particular mob spawn, either the orange or the green ghost, Here, he's actually seen the green ghost in the one he's gone into, which is great, because he knows that this is most likely the correct crypt. Those green ghosts don't spawn in the wrong crypt from our understanding, so he's made a really good entrance here, and essentially the first one he's run into, he's going to make it to the end here very quickly.
This information may not even help me, but I can see the exit on the map. This right now is one of the worst splits that it's such a big time sink in the run, but I can already see where the exit is. So it doesn't really help though. It tends to sometimes, I've noticed, it makes me lose time in runs because I tend to then take the shortest path to it, which is wrong. So right now I'm trying to head northwest as much as I can. But that doesn't mean that's going to be the way it is. It tends to make you run in a big box around the exit before you get there. So hopefully I make the correct decisions.
So while meatr0o's found the right crypt, it has not been nice to him. He's had to go down. There's some really long dead ends in these maps. What he's looking for in this first level is a loop, and he's found the loop, but off the loop is going to be the exit. And he's gone off one direction and then looking that direction. This is the other direction off the loop, so hopefully it's going to be here without any other splits.
So also I've found random braces in a place that I usually don't get legendaries, but sadly these braces are not an improvement on what I currently have, so I have to ignore them. I'm just going to chuck them out.
Come on, your follower. Give him a juice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's another downside to using the Templar is his damage scales off. The only really other good thing he'd be good for is damage. It scales off strength, so you're less likely to find strength gear playing a monk.
Yeah, we'll have dexterity items drop for us. Okay, so I have a little trick for this map. It's pretend to go one way and then go the other way.
Sometimes your biggest enemy
flawlessly.
Sometimes your biggest enemy in the run is yourself, so you got to play mental games.
Coming back to superstitious things.
Yeah, it hasn't worked out this time, sadly. Actually, no, it did. It was faster to go this way, so I've done a successful job in tricking the game. So I can see this one on the map, so I can be a little bit more lenient in my positioning. Yeah, there it is. Okay, so in this fight, I have to 7-sided strike some of these. I position myself very perfectly. That's good. The first fight, she sucks you in for some reason. Oh, my damage is actually very good at the moment. So I can change my strategy a little bit. And a lot of these fights are like this, where you have a way that you do it, but the way that you do it changes based on how strong you are, how weak you are, how fast you are.
So meatr0o here is still getting punished by this long Area 2 map. He's found the way off it, but it's just not that way off it.
Give it to me.
I think he's seen the exit it could be.
meatr0o's current world record, I think, is 136, something like that. Oof.
Oh. This is a terrible Area 2. I'm not even sure if this is the exit.
That's what we want.
Explored the whole thing, so yeah, it is.
So I'm looking for a bridge. And it's a stone bridge that will connect to a northwest ramp. And I'll be able to see it on the map pretty early, but getting there is really difficult. So what I've tend to find has helped is I'll run along these long horizontal paths and then try and go northwest or southeast as much as possible based on how I think the map's going. You can see, like, I don't know what Blizzard were thinking when they made these slowing you down mobs appearing all the time, because, you know, who cares about that if you're playing this game casually? But speedrunners, man, we care about it. Like, slowing us down so much, so I have the correct way. I'm into the fight with Urzael. This is the first fight that we can possibly die. The final fight is Malthael. So because I have 2 large damage sources, I'll use my 7-sided strike first because I can only do 75% damage. And he has iframes through this period. So now I can blind him, and I'll just finish him off really quickly. That fight usually takes a lot longer. I'm going to show off a really good setup to get out of town for the next bit. We've got too many places that we need to go to, so I'm going to have to be quiet while I do this because it's very hard.
You want to talk about the next trick I'm going to do with meatr0o for another waypoint?
Yeah, so this is another great waypoint trick. So again, once you complete this objective down here, after this gate that meatr0o's about to open, there's another gate which spawns an enemy. That enemy drops a rune. Once he clicks that rune, the waypoint is activated. And that waypoint is actually down a stack. It's probably a good 15-second run. Now, by breaking a couple of chains here, he can stop mob spawning and stop being hit, and he can actually teleport out. Normally, if you don't break those chains, you're getting hit, you're getting interrupted. So there we go. No mobs are attacking him. Easy teleport. And again, if you can see on the map, there's a massive bit he's skipped there.
What a great time to level.
And meatr0o's on to Battlefields of Eternity. So this is probably one of the last big RNGs of the run. So
The worst place in the run.
it's also one of the worst places in the run. What he's looking for is 2 of these events. So he's found one of them, he's found the middle one, and the other one he's looking for is on the outside somewhere. Now this is a big map. What this map looks like, it's a big square with essentially one path off it or one crag off it. Now he's actually done really well, and he's found the second one, so the outside one, and it's going to set him up very well for a quick finish here.
What you ask is important.
Now,
meatr0o, relax. How do you have a good RAM? Okay.
His
That's
exit
terrible,
is
isn't it?
reasonably far away, so it's not the perfect ramp, but that is actually really, like, anyone would be happy with that one.
So we call this, in this bit, I'm actually not going to get an opportunity to do it because I found 2 guys and straight away, and my exit's really far away, which is a shame. So I wanted to show off that trick that we found last night as well. But what I'll do, and people on the stream will often donate to make me do this, is I'll try and YOLO this split. So you'd have to find these guide stones, and it's how you know which is the correct one, which is what I did. The guide stones just luckily appeared in front of me. When you go into them, you have no idea if you're in the right one or not. But what I'll tend to do is if one's really short and I'm not ahead, I'm just going to go straight into one and I don't care. But what has ended up happening a lot of times is people will donate to make me YOLO no matter what. And let me tell you, not a good success rate. But yeah, so that one, there was actually one that was YOLOable, and it was incorrect. Luckily, there was a Nephilim globe there that made me not take it. I've had a very fast Adria 1 though.
That was an excellent Adria 1. So Adria 2, again, he's looking for that loop, looking for that path off. Again, hoping there's still capability to catch up, but looking unlikely here.
Yeah, if meatr0o can get 1 soft locked, 2 diethyl, he can also get I'll list all the things that are going to make me win. He can also get stuck in an event on the way to Malthael. And so I'm sort of hoping for a lot of those things to catch up. I can do it. I need to get a good Adria 2 though. So I would say now might be a good time to squeeze in a couple donations.
I can squeeze in a few incentive plugs. Not long now until the Silent Hill 2 run. Ending choice is still $50 up to Dog. If you guys want to see a different ending, now's the time to do so. We also still have the Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time file name coming up, which is still Mr. Do Melvin, $60, so feel free to donate to that. And not too far away as well is the Hades Sharon Super Boss fight, which is $181 left on that one. 63% of the way there, so a little bit of time before that one pops, but definitely one that's coming up and one worth fighting for. So make sure you get those donations in at donate.ozspeedruns.com and give some donations to a good cause, Beyond Blue.
Yeah, thanks. So here we are with meatr0o, second last level essentially. This level is probably one of the bigger things that could stop his run, but he's found the exit. So that exit is normally on the right 99% of the time. We have unfortunately had a couple runs come and finish on that level where it's just not what the exit's not where it should be. But he's found it. He's on to the last level. So coming up here, he's got a portal to go through. He's got to run to the northwest, and then he's got a couple more portals, and he's in to fight Mathiel, the last boss of the game. And this looks like a pretty short run. He's got a very short northwest before he comes down here. Portals haven't appeared on the map yet, which isn't great. Oh, they are actually quite a while away.
Malthael's probably the only real scary boss of the run as well. He can actually kill us if we haven't quite found the damage or the mainly the damage, I suppose, but the health or vitality either. He can do quite a bit of damage.
He's also one of the more annoying bosses with iframes. There's a chance you can get a quick kill on this. You can guarantee a quick kill with a couple of items, one of them being the Executioner, which essentially executes enemies on low health. And if you don't have that, you can just get stuck at that 1 health while he finishes an animation, finishes a voice line, and does an attack animation, which is frustrating, but...
Chances are I actually may be able to get a quick kill on him when I get to him. Because I have the blind braces and they will synergize really well with the strategy currently.
So time is going to be coming up for here from meatr0o, not on the boss kill, but when he talks to meatr0o after the boss. meatr0o will come and walk in, exclamation mark will appear and we'll click on meatr0o. So that was a really good quick kill on meatr0o. Sorry, on Mathiel. meatr0o is going to come walking in on the right, hopefully.
So time's approaching soon for me, and time.
Congratulations, well done. So if you could commentate for me, that'd be really good so I can focus.
Can do.
So Heckson's found the first inside rune for Battlefields of Eternity. He's looking for the outside rune. What it looks like he's on the crag at the moment. So hopefully it does appear. It could be the square, but I think it's the crag he's on. Again, a lot of this game is just looking at the map, trying to work out what the rest of the map you can't see looks like, and trying to find that objective.
Yeah, when we route for this, we usually hug the edge because we know you'll at least run into one or the exit and know where it is eventually. And you just sort of fingers crossed that you'll come across the one that sits in the middle. It unfortunately doesn't show on the map until you're quite close to it.
Yeah, so the map is very big, so you can have it spawn pretty far away from the exit. You ideally want them to be next to each other. But it seems like my central one was reasonably close to the start, and it's going to put the edge right at the end. I think that's the exit there. So this is the crag here, I think. So they've spawned pretty far away from each other. Oh, an early crag. That sucks. Yeah, not ideal.
Yeah, so punishing. If you just... These sort of ones kill you, because if you just... It's a 50-50 at the start. Do I want to hug right or hug left? And yeah, that couldn't have been worse.
And have a look where the exit's going to be. Oh, God. Game, please.
Fantastic.
Yeah, so there's not much you can do about that. You just got to predict it, and that's one of the worst things about this run is that you can play perfect. You could have so much luck. You can be on pace, and then you get to actually the last split of the game, pretty much, and then it does this to you. It's very common to get something like this. Like, I think both meatr0o and my PBs have really strong RAM splits, and it's really demoralizing because you're like, I've got to be like 5 minutes ahead at this point, or I'm just going to lose it all on RAM.
Yeah, I've thrown away many runs right at the death here.
Yeah, at least it's done. So that's done. So now we're just on the walk to the end. The game can still do bad things to you here, but it's not as bad. So little auto scroller here. I would say if we've got any donations, now's probably the last time to chuck them in.
Yeah, we do have one more last minute donation. That's a little bit of salt in the wound. We have $20 from Mr. It says RNG treaties for meatr0o.
Oh, please.
Thank you very much. He's done it. This run's dedicated to you.
The disrespect. Yeah, so coming up, I've got a dash setup, which is pretty hard to do. So I'm going to be walking down, timing dashes that are really, really hard to see. So it looks like they're you can dash them. You've got to sort of hesitate your dash. The angles are really hard to get. I'm going to try and 7-sided strike and get all of these at the same time. It's a shame. If you're lucky, the 7-sided strike can kill him, and then he's who generates all those hooks that keep you there. So you want to try and kill him first, and then have all the hooks hit at the same time. So not too bad. I got him, and 3 more came down. I'm in a good position where I can one-shot all of them. Most of the time you come here, you have to kick them 1 or 2 or 3 times even. So I got to do a dash here. Ooh, that's very good. That's very lucky. The next one, and I mean that dash can be really easy to do if you are conservative, but we will never take the conservative option. We're always going to try and be doing it for the swag. Got to be fast. So the map
are just a bunch of gamblers.
Yeah, so I want this to start going southwest at some point. Like this tile here, this looks really good. I don't want it to be a dead end. And it was. So if it can end right there if we're lucky. So this could be actually good. Yep, we got the exit. That's really good. That's nearly optimal.
Yeah, it's a very good Pandemonium one.
Okay, so I want to generate a little bit of spirit. I'm probably not going to do it in time. I think I Tempest rushed too greedily. Okay, so now I'm on my way to Malthael. I have the ability to kill death. Frenzy Shrine. So a Shrine tends to spawn there, and I would really like to see Fleeting. I've got an excellent gate spawn. Wow.
That's so good.
It doesn't get faster than that. That's perfect. That's a perfect spawn. So through this walk, I've just got there's not too many different tiles here, so we sort of know them and know how to dash through them optimally. My spirit's a little bit low, so I'm just going to let it generate.
Yeah, the hardest part about this tile is just sort of knowing or keep managing your dash cooldowns so you can get the best dashes over the corners. Sometimes, depending on how it stitches them together, it can be hard.
And avoiding those charging mobs.
Yeah, any level that has mobs that can displace you or slow you down can be a real pain.
Not the end of the world for a normal game, but for speedrunning. Okay, so not actually a bad time in the end. This is actually really a competitive time if meatr0o didn't get the run of the century. I mean, it's not a world record that he got, but still very strong. So I'm probably going to 7-sided strike to start and save my blind for the second phase because my blind braces are going to kill him. So I'm probably going to be able to get the quick kill. I'll try and demonstrate it. I got to hesitate for a sec, wait for him to teleport, and then... Oh, yep, we got him. That was close.
Very well
done.
Yeah, so if he comes back out of that, I have to watch him shoot me with some animations and waste a good amount of time that I would rather just be ending the game on. So same for me. Let's see if a balance drops. It's a helm. It's Broken Crown. Okay, and time. Whew. Thanks a lot, everyone, for watching.
Yeah, thank you very much for having us, ASM. It was a lot of
done
fun.
to both of you. Was there anything you guys wanted to plug toward the end of the race? Any communities, any streams?
Personally, I would like to shout out to Naya Squirrel and Chicken Cat, who both had to get up really, really early to watch this. So thank you very much for doing that. We'd like to plug the Diablo Discord community, who have a look at speedrun.com in the Diablo 3 section, and you can get a link to the Discord. And if you're interested in running, we have a large group there that are always willing to help out. One runner specifically, Pokito, has created a lot of guides and YouTube content. I think youtube.com/Pokito is where she has it. And that can be a really easy way to get you into speedrunning if this looks interesting to you. There's a lot of categories, so we're doing Monk, which is the fastest, but you can run any character you want. They all have their own leaderboards. Co-op is also there, so you can run with 2 people, 3 people, 4 people, and they're all different ladders. So it can be really fun if you're interested in doing it. And then, of course, thank you for donating to the Beyond Blue, which is a very great organization, does a lot of great things for us and people that we know. So thank you very much for donating, everyone. Anything from anyone else?
Yeah, I'd just like to give a quick shout out to Crooked. He's runs co-op with us, and he's helped develop a lot of this stuff, and also to Angus.
Thanks, Angus. Yeah, Whisperer?
Yeah, thanks, guys. Amazing run from both of you. Really good, really competitive times from both of you. So thank you guys for putting on the show.
Yeah, if you want to see more of it, twitch.tv/Heckson and twitch.tv/meatr0o. We run this really often. We're trying to get the co-op world record as well down to 1 hour 15. We want to go below that. So that time is crazy. And we're looking to try and get it to 1 hour 14 in the next couple of weeks. So, if you're interested, feel free to drop by. Thanks a lot for having us. Back to you guys, ASM.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, guys. Up next, we have the Silent Hill 2. Any percent looks like it's going to be the dog ending, but we still have a little bit of time of that incentive, so make sure you get your last money in right now, and we'll hand over to the next race shortly.